Morning, morning. So I'm in Cadiz. I'm just going for an early morning wander before we take the train back to Seville. And this is the joy of holidays, isn't it? Just time out to think. I'm reading a fascinating book right now called Scripted by MJ DeMarco. And it's just reminding me of what I used to think. And it's reigniting those thoughts. So for over a decade, as you know, I've been doing property. Absolutely love it. I also teach it, which I absolutely adore. You probably know our record. We did 45 million quid's worth of property, sourced for 30 million quid in 4.5 years. I raised millions of pounds, and I've bought a big portfolio. And I'm technically I am financially free, but I do enjoy doing the mentoring side and things like this for YouTube because, well, I got so much help in the early days. It's rather nice. Look at this. But DeMarco, and so I've been pushing down my loan to value, and I've actually been paying off houses. At point of doing this video, I've got 2 houses paid off, and next year I've got planned to pay another, I think it's 5 or 6 off next year. Anyway, I've always been a slight contrarian thinker. I've never particularly gone with the whole status stuff of fancy car. I mean, listen, if you want to do it, go for it. Let's come up here. Fancy cars and things like that. I've never, and everybody's different, and I'm not knocking you, but I've never been a person to kind of buy into lease option cars, or do you know what I mean? I've always thought, actually, for me, freedom is stuff paid off. Freedom for me is my own house with no mortgage, with other houses with no mortgages. And this book is very much about unscripting from, oh look, see, I can't help myself. There's a site. Every time I see an abandoned house, I'm like, it's in the blood, you see. This book is all about that whole being unscripted from that whole consumer debt, because of course when you're in consumer debt, whether it's mortgage debt for your own home or whether it's general consumer debt, you are in hock to the man, and the satisfaction of paying off properties is about not being in hock to the man. So it's just mulling it over. I mean, I've built a very large portfolio, but actually I could be not in debt in total to the man by selling off a significant number of them and everything else free, if you like, because they're all being paid for. So what's this wandering 7 a.m. video about? It's about taking time out, which I'm doing right now, to really think about what's important for you. Like, if you notice my videos, I never tell you guys how many properties I've got. I tell you how many we've done in total. And the reason I don't tell you is not that, I mean, it's a good number. It's got no value. Oh, sorry, it's got lots of value. It's got no significant importance to you guys, because clearly I know my stuff. It's actually got no significant importance to me either, because on a day, which sounds weird, let's keep going this way. Although, look, you can probably see palm trees at the end there. It's actually got no significant importance to me either, which sounds really weird, doesn't it? Because I think in the early days, and I certainly was similar, it was all about, I want to buy so many houses. You know, when I speak to beginners, they typically say, I want to buy, 10 houses or whatever it is. So the number of houses in the early days really matters. The number of houses later on, and even to me, even the value doesn't really matter. It's on your balance sheet, you can't eat it. And once you've got to a certain amount, you're pretty much safe from any emergency that requires a financial solution. And then you start looking for other solutions in your life. Like, my parents are getting a bit older, touch wood, they're really healthy, but I want to spend more and more time with them. My children are growing up, so they don't need me so much at the moment, but I hope to be there for those moments when they do need me. So then you're starting to look for time. So this, I guess, is about bringing in the time component of the financial freedom equation. So if you're starting out, you can be like, oh my God, what's she talking about? Like, I just want to buy houses, and I was just the same. But as you get to your second tier, and I hope that this video is useful for you to realize that it's not just about the acquisition, it's about the management, the maintenance, and the moving forward, you then start going, well, hang on a minute here. We are only on this earth for a certain period of time. What is going to be the most beneficial use of my time to be on this earth? And aren't I and hopefully you, now or in the future, in such a fortunate position to be able to make choices around that time, and to then make choices around the management of your large portfolio to that time. So the question really is, do you let's go down here. Do you keep all? And I'm at a nice loan to value already and pushing down enormously. Or do you fast forward that process of payoff by selling some? I remember years ago, a chap I massively always have admired, a guy called Stephen Fay, who quite regularly writes for the property magazines. He's a property accountant. I think he's based in Blackpool, and he had a real impact on me in the early days. And he basically said, I'll try and stay away from he basically said, our plan, he's an accountant, so he's very, very organised. Our plan is to buy 30 houses. Woo! Traffic. Our plan is to buy 30 houses, and then once we got them to a certain value, then sell 15 of them, one a year for capital gains tax efficiency, so that we end up with 15 unencumbered. And that really struck me as a very measured and sensible, may not be super sexy, sorry Stephen, not meaning that in any rude way, but that is complete freedom, isn't it? To have 15 houses with no mortgages, to do what you need to do with for the rest of your life. I mean, to give you an idea, my HMOs all pull in like £3,000 a month. If you had 15 of them unencumbered. So, a little bit of a meander around Cadiz this morning to have this chat, but if you're just starting out, know that these questions will arise later on, so plan for it in your early thinking. If you're further on and having these questions, no, you're not alone. I'm in Cadiz going, what should I do? What's it all for? And I just do think you have to check in with yourself every now and again and go, why am I doing this? What's it for? And does it still serve me? I'll keep doing the YouTube videos because I really enjoy doing them, and I shall also keep doing the education because I really enjoy that. I love creating stuff for you guys. I've got a lot on the website, but it's that question of what's life about. And for me, it's I love property, as you can probably tell, but it's also time to spend with the people I love, time to travel. And that's also becoming more and more important as you realise there isn't an infinite amount of time to spend with the people you love, particularly when they're in their 70s. But hopefully there's millions of time left still. There you go, a bit of a ramble first thing, but an interesting one for phase 2 of the do you continue to buy? Do you simply pay down very gently, or do you really smash it by selling some of yours to pay down others? Kind of fancy travelling, you see.